Alrighty, man, I love spicy food, but it does have its consequences about 12 hours later, sometimes sooner than that. The question isn't whether or not you can handle the heat. Well, actually, maybe that is a question, but it's not what you quite think it is. It's worth it though, I don't care. Anyway, with that out of the way, what am I going to do today? In terms of circuit, that did rotate. Okay, I just need Ack and Brunt. I think that's it. And apparently Ack and Brunt suck. I don't know how true that is. I mean, it still is a melee, so it can still do general influence things. And it still is an incarnate, so it still can do incarnate things. I do not really feel like doing anything to vary right now, though, not gonna lie. I guess I'll go ahead and pick up my other weekly things. Why is there 69 Iron Wake relays right now? Or instances, whatever. Anyway, I just got home not too long ago. Blah, 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 blah. Gotta go to a dentist appointment tomorrow. I'm never really worried about the dentist because, I mean, I go every single year anyway. It's always pretty much the general same stuff. They always ask if you've been flossing or not. Answer is typically no. I feel like I've been doing better at brushing my teeth though. Like I've been getting better angles with it, so I'm actually kind of getting in between my teeth now with the toothbrush. I used to just not give a crap and just brush like the tops of my teeth. That's more so when I was actually little. I haven't done that in a while. Normally it's like the inner teeth that you more so struggle with. That's a little bit awkward of an angle to get at. I've been trying my best to get at the insides of it. It definitely has been working out a fair bit. It's like I still kind of feel the crevices between my teeth more than like what I used to. Because whenever you go to a dentist, that's the main thing that gets cleaned out, just the buildup between the crevices of your teeth. That's really hard to like prevent from actually happening. You almost need like one of those metal scrapers that they use, but man, sometimes wow. It's like more so they're hitting your gums more than anything, and that's like really hurts. Last time though, that didn't really happen. Like I didn't actually get sore teeth. I think it's because my plan of action before going to the dentist was to just annihilate my teeth myself. And like I cleaned them out really dang good before going to the dentist. Does sometimes lead to some gum irritation though. But hey, I'm taking control of my own teeth. I guess I'll just do some relics now while yapping away. I don't really feel like doing too much else. I'm mostly just waiting for August 6th already. I need Marvel Tokon to come out. All I've really been messing around with my new arcade stick is just Alien Hominid. I have not been playing much else besides that. I do have like 2 or 3 fighting games I could mess around with if I want to, but I just don't really have the motivation or interest to play them right now. I own Mortal Kombat 11, was it Tekken 8, and Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm not really too interested in playing any of those right now. I'm just really wanting to play Marvel Tokon. That's why I'm wanting to like actually practice at, because the thing with Alien Hominid is it's pretty generic movement. They're not really doing anything too crazy. It's just jumping up and down sometimes, but you just use a button for that. You don't actually use the lever, and you go left and right. There's a roll to the right or left, and just a generic attack button. You can either tap it or you can hold it to charge it, and then there's a grenade button, and then there is some other stuff like you can dig into the ground and snatch enemies, or you can jump on top of an enemy, bite their head off, or pick them up and throw them. I have a whole video already on Alien Hominid. Still a really good game, but it's not something to really like practice getting better at an arcade stick with, or at least it's not as good practice. It's something to start out with, but I'm not doing any sort of quarter circle movements or any of those crazy inputs. I watched a video by Diaphone on like the hardest fighting game combos. There are some crazy inputs you gotta do, and I was watching some other videos of like people showing a arcade stick cam while they're playing. They do some crazy stuff with their hands. Like I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to doing anything like that. It almost does make getting into fighting games a bit of a daunting task, because fighting games again are just so different than any other game. It's a whole combo sequence that you gotta memorize with just way different movement than what you're used to. I think the thing with fighting games is that there's definitely a lot more time you're going to have to put in just to practice than any other game. Like I feel like with other games, you're probably going to get a lot of improvement out of just playing the game in any sort of match. Like for example, just something else to talk about, I guess like Marvel Rivals. You're going to get your basic practice out of just doing casual matches, and it should not really be that stressful either, or even that overwhelming. But fighting games, the practice range actually does make more of a difference. It's not everything, of course, because you still do actually know, you need to know how to do proper decision making and how to respond to your opponent's actions. But at the same time, if you can't pull a combo, practice range will actually help out with that. Only problem with practice range is that you're pretty much always landing the hit or whatever, whereas with an actual match, you gotta get used to your opponent blocking and then being able to react to when they fail to block an attack. Like, oh, I actually landed the hit. Now what? I wasn't thinking I'd make it that far. Whereas in practice range, moments like that are just not gonna happen. But I'm still probably gonna spend most of my time at the start just in practice range because I just need to still get used to general movement and actually using an arcade stick. If I can't do a quarter circle movement in a practice range, why even bother in an actual match yet? And also there still are PvE bots I could probably practice against first. In fighting games, it feels like half of your time is actually spent in the lab just practicing stuff out, whereas actual other games, it's more so like 80% of the time you're in an actual match, if not more, because obviously like Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, they do have training ranges, but there's not really much to do in there. It's kind of like, yeah, you can shoot some enemies, you can at least see what your abilities do, which does help out, but that does not take a long time. It doesn't take much time to figure out just what your abilities do, and you're definitely not going to get much aim training in just the training range in there. But for fighting games, practice range actually does kind of matter a fair bit. Labbing out specific situations, seeing your frame data, etc. Definitely seems like a lot of the fun for fighting games is improvement. The only kind of worry sometimes is that you don't know exactly what your ceiling is. Like, oh, is it pretty low? Am I just going to be below average? Well, that's not going to be very fun. Or am I actually going to be above average and actually be pretty dang good? Because I feel like with most games, like at least when it comes to shooters, I feel like I'm pretty decent at it. Like for Marvel Rivals, I feel like I could probably get in the top 10%. Like I don't feel like that's too wild of a claim. That's kind of like where my confidence is at least. Whereas with a fighting game, I don't even know if I can get in the top 50% right now. Only other fighting game that I've gotten kind of decent at before was Soul Calibur 5. I feel like that was a way simpler game to actually improve at though. You had a dedicated block button, which does make a fair bit of difference. And also there's not really any sort of crazy moves going on in there. Whereas you look at some of these other fighting games like Dragon Ball Fighters, Marvel Tokon, etc. They are a lot more fast-paced. Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate 3, I think, is also a bit more fast-paced. There are obviously some slower-paced ones, but sometimes they can just be so overwhelming that you just freeze up at first. It's going to take some getting used to, that's for sure. The good thing about practice in a fighting game right now is that it's a lot more chill, and I can just have my second monitor on some YouTube video, just watching something while I'm in the lab, just messing around with movement, messing around with the combos. Getting a second monitor has just been so nice. I remember when I was playing Titanfall 2 I would just have a video up on the side, because those matchmaking times took a fair bit of time. It was typically around 5 to 10 minutes. Ah, poor Titanfall fans. I know, I wish for Titanfall 3 as well. It's rough out here. I still just really hope for Jeff the Land Shark to come to Marvel Tokon. I did see that there was a feedback survey for Tokon, and it does seem like the devs have been taking feedback very well. Like, it really reminds me of how NetEase was taking feedback for Marvel Rivals, because they were doing all sorts of surveys at the start, and they still do really take feedback pretty well, I think. Some might argue against that just because of how the balance is. Thing is, I will say it's a lot more difficult to take in balance feedback than it is any other feedback, because balance is just way more subjective than, say, how does a game visually look. A lot more people will agree upon a graphic style. Like, a lot of people will probably say, yeah, Marvel Rivals is a nice looking game. When you get to balance though, that's a lot more spread out though. It's not even like a 50-50 thing. It's probably more like a 30-40-30 situation, or 30-40-15-15. Could be like a, I don't know, it could just be way more split up though. Basically, you can have someone say, man, Punisher sucks, he needs buffs, and then someone else say, man, Punisher is overpowered, he needs nerfs. Like, who the heck do you listen to at that point? That's the problem with trying to take in balance feedback. Really, all I say is, as long as the balance philosophy matches the actual balance, that's all that really matters. Like, if your balance philosophy is, hey, we just simply want the game to be fun, sure, as long as the balance actually meets that. Which, I mean, fun is pretty subjective, I know. But if you're just like, yeah, we want the game to be, you know, pretty chaotic, fast-paced, we want, like, every role to have its importance, every role to have its negative or whatever, you just need to have a balanced philosophy. That's what matters the most, I think. And the balance needs to match that philosophy. But regardless, myself, I don't really care about balance anymore. Destiny 2 kind of got me to quit caring about balance, because I always had my thoughts on PvP and PvE, and nothing really changed. Or it would always just go a different way. So I was like, yeah, alright, no, I'm done with this. As long as people enjoy the game, then I don't care. Anyway, it seems like tomorrow, actually Tuesday, is going to be dog days. I don't know how much I'll play that. I'll have to see what the rewards are, because I'm not much of a floof grinder. Like, my friend is gonna grind up all the beach balls. She's probably gonna get to like 1,000 or something. She got 100 last year. We'll see how many she gets this time. I guess on Warframe, I'm more so just waiting for August 12th, because that is the Amira Nightwave, and then 6 is Marvel Tokon, so I already pre-ordered it. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, pre-order. Look, it doesn't matter. The whole, oh, remember, don't pre-order, that never works, man. It's been, what, how many years? 10 years or something? I feel like I've never regretted a pre-order for a game. I've not pre-ordered very many games, maybe just like 2 or 3, but I've never regretted them. I feel like I'm pretty smart when it comes to what game to buy, when to pre-order, etc. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of time out of Marvel Tokon. But anyway, I think that's about all I got to say for now. Just a little catch-up video. Not too much going on Warframe right now, but there's some stuff coming this month. Anyway, I'll see you all in whatever I do next.